right, so I'm gonna have you all start on your back. Hey, Aria. And when you're on your back, always just remember if you have discomfort in your low back at all, you will keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor. And another option is to prop your knees up with a pillow. And what that does is it actually takes some pressure off of the low back area, doesn't put your lumbar in that kind of hyperextended state. And a lot of times, if your hamstrings are pretty tight, you'll find that it'll be uncomfortable to lay with your legs straight out. So just know that's an option. And if it is comfortable for you to put your legs straight out, you can do that also. And then arms can just kind of rest by your sides if that's comfortable for you with your palms up. It's more comfortable for you to keep them resting on your torso. By all means, do that. And then we are going to start with our 3 cleansing breaths. So 3 times. The big breath in through the nose and a big sigh out through the mouth. After you take those sighs, letting the breath come in and out just through the nose. And at this time, engaging the Ujjayi breath. You have that slight constriction in the back of your throat so that with every inhalation and every exhalation, there is this tone that you can follow, as well as a feeling, almost like a little vibration in the throat itself. And this will be the last week that we focus on this, but just noticing your nasal cycle. Do you find that the breath is coming in one nostril more than the other? And just remembering that this dominant nostril, the amount of air that it brings in, it's very subtle. And it's not something that you typically recognize when you are just living life, moving about, breathing all day long. But instead, we find that we notice it when we are aware and connected to the inner part of our body, the inner part of our being. Taking this the next moment or so to observe in yourself what part of your breath is the longest. You finding that your inhalation is longer or that your exhalation is longer. And of course, not having any expectation on what it should be. Right now it's just something for you to notice, something to be aware of. And then if you would like to set any sort of an intention for the day, for the practice, for the week, for the month, letting yourself go ahead and set that intention at this time. And then when you're ready, and again, as usual in the beginning of the class, if you want to keep your eyes closed, you can. You can open them whenever you feel the need to. Your left leg is going to stay long. So whether it's supported or unsupported, if you did find that you had to lay with your knees bent and your feet on the floor, just scoot your left foot down towards the bottom of the mat a little bit more so that knee is not in the way. And you're going to bring your right knee in towards your chest and just give it a little squeeze here and start to roll out the ankle. And then you're just simply going to reverse this, going the opposite direction. And then relax that ankle. If you want this to be a little less challenging, you can use your right hand to just kind of start to roll that right leg, the knee in circles. If you want a little more challenge, you can place your hands down onto the floor. So you're using more of your core to do this rolling in circles. And try to let that knee really go out to the right. Let it come across the body. So they're pretty big circles. And then you're going to reverse that, of course, go the other direction. So today's focus is inner thighs, outer thighs, hips. Very nice. Now bring that right knee back in towards the chest. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it in the right hand and you're going to draw that right knee out to the side a little bit, almost like it's going to come out and touch the shoulders, going out to the side and up. Maybe your elbow rests on the floor a little bit. And we're going to hold this for a moment as you breathe. Slow breaths in and slow breaths out. Just starting to really get into that inner thigh space. Very nice. Release that right leg. Let it come back down to the mat. And then you're going to draw the left knee in. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So just squeezing the left knee in towards the chest here and starting out with those ankle rolls. Pulling the ankles in a circle, or ankle, I guess I should say, in a circle here. And then reversing that circle. Beautiful. Let the ankle relax. And then you're starting to make those circles now with the left leg. Right? Knee is bent. And of course, if you want your hands on the floor to make it a little more challenging, you can do that. Trying to focus on really wide circles, almost like an oval turned sideways. And of course, you're going to reverse it, go the other direction. Great. Go ahead and give that left knee a hug in towards the chest. You're going to hold it with your left hand. Right arm can drop down to the floor. And then you're going to move your left knee out to the side, maybe up towards the shoulder, any amount. Perhaps even your left elbow just kind of rests on the floor. We stay here and we breathe and we allow that inner thigh to start to open up. Very nice. So release that. Place both feet on your mat. Knees are going to be bent. Left leg is going to stay stable here. So in a moment, we're going to be moving our right leg. But I want you to focus on is your left leg not moving. So try your best not to let it sway a little side to side. Okay, so arms are by the sides. And you're going to drop your right leg down towards the floor. The knee stays bent. So it's this half recline bound angle. And then you're going to squeeze it back up. So it's a slow motion, slow on the way down. Feel the thighs engaging, inner outer thighs. Slow on the way back up. Squeeze it up. Right. So that left knee, it's going to want to shift. It's going to want to sway a little bit. Try your best to keep it still. Yeah, we're going to do one more here. And then you're going to move it on over to the other side. So now the right leg is staying as still as possible. Drop that left knee out towards the side, towards the floor, and then squeeze it back up. So the movement's nice and slow. You aren't in a rush. Right? And when you move slow like that, the knee's dropping, you have that resistance, the outer thigh, trying to keep the knee from not falling too quick. And when you're coming back up, you have to squeeze that inner thigh to slowly bring the knee back to center. And just a couple more here. And then let this be the last one. Beautiful. All right. So go ahead and take both of your feet so that they're touching. The inner edges of the feet are touching. Knees are still bent, and we're going to do that dynamically now with both legs. Okay. So you're going to drop the legs down, drop the knees out to the side, and then you're going to slowly bring them back up. Okay. If you need to support yourself, give your legs a little bit of love and support as you bring them back up or down. You can do that with your hands. Good. Let's do one more. And then after you do that one more and you come back up to center, let the knees touch, the feet touch, and just squeeze the knees in towards each other. So the knees are going to push against each other. And again, you should feel a lot of activation occurring in the inner thigh area. Just let that happen as you breathe. Good. Release that. Let the knees drop all the way back down to the floor. And then we'll do that one more time. Bring it back up. Squeeze the knees together. Let them push together until you feel that nice activation occurring in that inner thigh. Very nice. And release that. So you're going to let those legs straighten. You're going to roll onto your right side. And we are going to do our little side lying hip series. Love doing these. You can, of course, lie down with your head supported like this. Okay. Some people like to lift up and kind of be on their forearm with their hand in front of them, whichever one feels more comfortable for you. That's what I want you to do. And we're going to start with clam. So your knees are bent, your feet are touching. Good. You just kind of, I like to put my left hand on my hip, and you're just going to lift the left knee, and then you're going to let the knee come back to the right. So you're going to lift it up, and you're going to bring it back down. What happens a lot of times when I see people do this in person, right? That left knee lifts up and like they roll back, their hips roll back. Try to keep the hips really level. So you should be feeling this kind of in that outer lower hip glute area. If you don't, just notice if that left hip is back too far. It's not a huge motion. Let's do one more of these. And then now we're going to do reverse clam. So the knees stay together, and you're just going to lift your left foot up, and then you're going to bring it back down. This one you do feel some muscular engagement, but I will say that this is more of a range of motion exercise for the hip itself, because it brings you into what's called internal rotation, which we don't do with our hips very often. We live mostly in external rotation. So it's really good for hip health, as they say. Good. So for my count, at least I'm doing two more. One and two. Great. All righty. So now you are going to straighten your legs. And you can have your right knee still bent a little bit if that helps you with your balance, because it can be tricky. But your left leg is going to be lifted, and you just kind of want it in the same height as your hip. You're going to tap the left toes to the floor, and then you're going to lift back up. And you don't want to go up too high, like even if you can, even if your leg can go way high like that. I want you to keep it maybe just a little bit higher than the height of your left hip. And you're just dropping and lowering. Right? And of course, I say you're just dropping and lowering, but it's work. There's some work to it. You can feel it. Also, notice if your toes are pointing kind of up at all. You want them pointing straight forward, maybe even down a little bit. You can kind of play with that. Good. All right. This next time you come up, you're going to leave it up. And we're just going to take these teeny tiny pulses, very tiny pulses. Right? You're going to feel like you're barely moving, but this gets a different muscle group here. Very nice. Let that knee bend for a moment. Just kind of like to give my hip a little rub. It just feels good. Ah, nothing scientific about it. It just feels good. All righty. So you're going to straighten that leg again. And this time you're going to point your toes, and you're going to make circles going backwards. So the circles are small, they're not big circles. Just keep that in mind. Right? You're going to notice that your hips are going to want to move around and sway a little bit. Try to stay as still as possible in every part of you except for the leg. And then reverse those circles, bring it forward. Very nice. And go ahead and you are going to flex your foot and place your left hand in front of you if it's not already there. You're going to bring that left leg forward as far as you can. You're going to point your toes and then you're going to swing it back. So flex the foot as you're coming forward, point the toes as you swing it back. It's slow and controlled. You have that right leg on the floor grounded to help you. Your left hand also helping to ground you, bring stability. Let's do one more. Wonderful. Go ahead and bend your left knee. Place your foot on the floor. It's going to be in front of your right leg, and then straighten your right leg all the way if it was not already straight. And we'll work on that right inner thigh briefly. So you're just going to lift the right leg up, and then you're going to set it back down. Right, just kind of doing that back and forth. Range of motion's pretty big. Right, it's not tiny. We'll be pulsing in a moment. So this is just to kind of wake that inner thigh up. Good. And let's do one more. And then you're going to lift it about halfway up and just give some pulses, right? Little tiny pulses. It works different muscles, right? So big movements work big muscles, small movements essentially work small muscles. And release that down. Lovely. You're going to roll onto your left side. You can just roll right over if you like. I'm going to turn so that I can still see everybody and you can still see me. And once you get nice and settled, we will get right into clam on the other side. So you kind of play around with what feels best for you. Do you want to be your head up or down? And knees are together, feet are together. And you're just going to lift that right knee up. And then you're going to let it meet the left knee, right? So again, just really pay attention if when that right knee lifts up, because your body wants to do this, it wants to let that right hip pull back, okay? Try to keep the hips nice and stacked. And again, you're going to feel the work kind of in the lower outer glute hip area. If you feel it somewhere else, really pay attention to that hip alignment. Good. All right. Next time that right knee comes down, keep it glued to the left knee and then reverse clam. You're going to lift your right foot up and down. Also, just working again, internal rotation, hip health, something we don't do a lot, this internal rotation. Because if you do this and you're standing, it feels really funny on your knees. But if you do it lying on your side, and the knees are safe. Stay safe, I should say. Not safe. It's not a word. Good. I got about 2 more for my count here. Very nice. And then you're gonna straighten the legs. So I still keep my left knee a little bit bent just to give myself more support. And then the right leg is going to come out. You're going to flex your foot, right? And you're just going to tap the toes down and then lift it back up. And it can go, I mean, just a little bit above hip height. You don't want it to go super duper high. It actually changes kind of the whole exercise, puts it more in the back, less in the hip. Right? And you want to check your toes out. Make sure they're either pointing forward towards the long edge of the mat or even down a little bit, but definitely not up. So the next time you lift up, keep it there, and then just give some little pulses. Beautiful. Bend that knee. Just give your hip a little rub for a moment. It's just a little quick break before we get into those circles. All right, so coming on back, you're going to straighten your right leg. It's going to stay about hip height, and you're going to make some little circles going back. They're not big, some little tiny circles. You can have your toes pointed. Make sure you're breathing well and deep. And then reverse the circles and bring it forward. Awesome. All right, go ahead and flex your right foot. You're going to put your right hand in front of you if it's not already there. You're going to swing that right leg forward. You're going to point your toes, slowly bring it back into extension. So you flex the foot, bring it forward, flexion, point the toes, bring it back, extension, right? This is kind of getting the hip flexor, the glute. Yeah, let's do one more. And then you're going to bend your knee, place your right foot on the mat in front of your left leg. And we'll do those little inner thigh lifts, right? So you're just going to lift your left leg up and let it come back down. Just moving up and down. And you're breathing nice and deep. There you go. Good job. And the next time that left leg lifts, you're going to keep it there about halfway up. And then you just give those little pulses. Beautiful. Release that down. You're going to come right on over to your hands and knees right now. We'll blow through a couple cat cows. Right, so make sure you spread the fingertips nice and wide. Try to press down evenly through the hand, not just the wrist area. And as you know, you exhale, round back, let the head drop. And as you inhale, you simply reverse that. As you lift the tailbone, lift the head. Let's do one more of each. One more cat, one more cow. And then you come back just to tabletop. So tabletop, right? Nice and neutral, as neutral as you can. And we'll bring ourselves into spinal balance. So the right leg's going to extend back. You can keep the toes on the floor or you can lift that right leg. Left arm's going to reach out in front. If that's too much, just keep your left hand on the floor, okay? And you're kind of looking down towards the mat here, pressing out through the heel. Nice strong leg. We'll take 3 cheetah poses. So if your hand is on the floor, you can do this just with the knee. That's fine. As you exhale, you're going to round the back, bring the knee and elbow towards each other under the body. And then you inhale and you straighten back out. Right? So we do that 3 times total. And then you come back into tabletop, just hands and knees, and we'll simply do that on the other side. So then now the left leg extends back. You can keep the toes down or lift the leg. You can reach that right arm out in front. That feels like too much, don't do it. Just do the leg. And then reach back through the heel, engage that left leg. And then when you're ready, 3 times cheetah pose, exhale, bring the knee and elbow towards each other, round the back. Inhale, extend. 3 times your pace. And after you do those 3, you're back in your tabletop. Good. Big toes together, knees nice and wide. Take a quick rest, child's pose. Okay, so in child's pose, your head is resting on something, your forehead. Whether it's the floor, pillow, book, block, whatever. Really let your head drop into the support so that the back of your neck can relax and let go. Good. Walk those hands over to the right. Bring your head with you. Reach with the left hand. Get that nice stretch on the left side body. Bring it back to center. Walk it on over, left side. Reach with the right hand. Stretch on the right side body. Good. Bring yourself back to center. Awesome. Come into tabletop. So we are going to stand here in a moment. You can get there one of 2 ways. You can get up and stand however you typically do, or you can do it through downward facing dog. So if you're going to go through down dog, you're going to bring your hands a little bit further in front, maybe 1 hand distance in front of under the shoulders, tuck the toes, come into a very brief plank pose. And the reason we do that is because where you are in plank pose with the feet and the hands is the distance you should be for down dog. Then you press your hands down and forward, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Good. Look towards the hands and just start to walk your feet forward. And then you roll yourself all the way up to stand. Lovely. All right. So you know in my class, anytime we transition from the floor to standing, I always think it's a great time to take a little water break because we shouldn't go a whole hour without drinking water, right? So grab your water, your tea, or your coffee, or whatever you need this morning. So good. Yep, take those socks off. Perfect. All right, let's get back to it. Feet are going to be pretty wide here. Toes are going to point out a little bit. I mean, they're not all the way out, right? 15 degrees maybe. And we're going to do what's called sunflower. You do want to make sure that your knees, as you're bending them, aren't coming in, right? You're doing more of that external rotation so that the knees are pointing more towards the pinky toes. So you're going to inhale, you're going to straighten the legs, squeeze everything, arms above the head. You're going to exhale, bend the knees, act like you're scooping up a bunch of sunflower seeds and sending them back up to the sun, right? So you're doing this at your own pace here. You don't have to touch the floor. It's okay if you don't, right? But this is a nice little exercise because it stretches the inner thighs and also strengthens the inner thighs, depending on if you're going up or down, right? So just remember when you're going up, you're squeezing all those leg muscles. Those muscles give your bones a nice, beautiful hug. Good. Let's do one more. Very nice. Let the arms come down. Awesome. You can take your hands on your hips. You are going to come back down into your little squat. So you might just bend your knees a little, right? You might bring them down further. It's up to you. You're going to stay there. You're going to hold it. And then option is to see if you can lift your right heel any amount. And you breathe. And then you put that heel down if you lifted it, and then you go to the left side. If you're not lifting your heel, you're simply holding this goddess pose. You let that left heel come back down, and then everybody stand back up. Give that a quick break. We're going to do it one more time. Take a big breath. Very good. Go ahead and bend those knees. Come down only as far as you want to. Make sure the knees are pulling back towards the pinky toe side so you can stay right here and hold this, or you can try to lift your right heel any amount. And let that right heel come down. If you're doing it, lift the left heel any amount. And let the left heel come down and straighten all the way back up. Awesome. Now turn the toes so that the toes are pointing forward and find that hip crease. You're just coming into a wide leg forward fold here, and the hands are going to come onto the floor. Okay, should feel pretty good on those legs doing a forward fold now. Maybe take a breath or two here, nice and slow, really deep. Good. Now we're going to do these little dynamic side lunges, side to side. Okay. So you're going to just kind of bend your right knee a little bit. Let your weight shift over to that right side. You're going to feel a pretty decent stretch in that left inner thigh over here. And then you'll come back to center, straighten both legs, and then you're going to bend your left knee a little bit. Let your weight shift over to the left. Feel that stretch in the right inner thigh. Good. Bring it back up. Just kind of do that a couple times, side to side. Not rushing through it. Awesome. Bring yourself back to center. Place your right hand in the middle underneath your face, kind of under your chest. And you're going to lift your left arm and come into a little twist here. If it doesn't feel good to lift the left arm, you're just going to put it on your left hip. Okay, that's your modification. But I want you to squeeze those leg muscles. Squeeze them. Good. Bring yourself back to center. You're switching sides. The left hand is down. Right arm is going to lift. Right. Modification. Place it right there on your hip, but squeeze the leg muscles. Awesome. Bring it back to center. Go ahead and bend your knees here. Put your weight back in your heels. Slowly bring yourself all the way back up to stand. Very nice. And what we call heel toe the feet back together. Bring the feet back together. Good. We'll do a quick little couple half sun salutations and a balance. And then good old pigeon pose coming at you. All right. So you're at the top of your mat, feet about hip distance apart. Everybody here knows these sun salutations, so we won't go through them too super slow in the very beginning. As you inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, forward fold, let the head drop, let the back round. As you inhale, place your hands on your legs, lift up with a flat back. It's called half lift. As you exhale, round the back, drop the head again. As you inhale, press the feet down, reverse swan dive. Arms come out to the side, above the head. And take it to the heart as you breathe out. And again, inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, rise and shine. And take it to the heart. Two more exactly like this. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and shine. And take it to the heart. Good. Last one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, rise and shine. Bring it on up. And take it to the heart. Very nice. Go ahead and place your weight on your left foot. We're going to do knee hugs. You're just going to draw the right knee up. You can hold around the knee or the shin. Go for it. If you can hold behind the thigh, if that's better, you can. If lifting the knee is not for you today, just work on lifting your heel or maybe lifting the foot off the floor just a little. And if you want a little more challenge, you can take your left arm, reach it out to the side. Right, stand tall, be proud. Good. Let yourself come out of it the way that you came into it. Go right over to the other side. Stand on the right leg. Lift the left knee. If you can grab around the knee or the shin, go for it. Behind the thigh is better. That's fine. And then if you can't lift the knee, then you're simply working on lifting the foot off the floor a little bit. If you want more, reach that right arm out to the side. Breathe. Very nice. Slowly come out the way that you came in. Love it. I just want to get one more kind of side body stretch before we do pigeon on our back. So inhale, reach those arms nice and high. Standing half moon, grab the right wrist, reach to the left, and switch sides. Grab the left wrist, reach to the right. Good. Bring it all the way back up. Release the arms. Ah, love it. All right. So I'm going to have you come all the way down onto your back. And we'll get a good pigeon pose in on the back. Perfect. All right. So we will start pigeon pose with stretching the right leg. So right ankle is coming over the left knee. Flex the foot. You can keep your left foot on the floor if this is enough stretch. If you want more, you want to flex both of your feet and you grab behind your left thigh. Bring the knees in towards the chest. We're holding it a minute. Okay. So if you want to rock a little side to side, if you want to shift the knees over to the left a little, you're going to deepen the stretch in the right hip. Just find where your spot is. Good. About 20 more seconds. Got time. Good. Keep the shape of the feet and the legs. Just place your left foot down onto the floor. Let your arms rest on the floor by your sides, and you're just going to drop your legs over to the left. So you're coming into a twist. Essentially, your left leg's on the floor, the right knee is bent, knee pointing to the ceiling. Just a nice little gentle twist here. Good. Use your hands to help your legs come back to center. We're just going to switch sides and do that on the other side. So the left ankle crosses over the right knee. Flex the foot. If you want to go a little bit more with a stretch, bring both knees in, grab behind the right thigh. Both feet are going to be flexed. And just like the other side, we're going to be here for 1 minute. So if you want to shift your legs over to the right a little bit, you're going to deepen the stretch. That left hip, you just play around a little bit. What feels good for you. Good. All right. Keep the shape of the legs. You're just putting your right foot on the floor. And then you're going to drop the legs over to the right. So again, little stretch, little twist. Great. Use your hands if you need. Bring those legs back up to center and hug the knees towards the chest. So that's the last pose that we're going to do. Lots of different options to get to it. It's called Happy Baby, right? So the first option is for you to take both of your knees, draw them out to the side and towards the shoulders, kind of like what we did in the very beginning, but with one leg. Now we're doing both. Next step is to grab your hands, grab kind of behind your knees, bend the elbows, draw those knees towards the armpits, and then you're going to flex your feet and try to bring your ankles in line with the knees. Of course, I'm demonstrating it because it's hard to kind of explain it, but I'm also demonstrating. And so that's Happy Baby. And then if you're able to reach up with your right hand, grab the outside edge of your right foot. And then you do the same with the left. So you actually take your arm through the inside of your leg, the inside of the knee, but then you grab the outside of the foot on each side. And then you push down with your hands, push the feet down, which brings the knees a little bit further towards the armpits as well. Happy Baby. Good. And wherever you are, let that go. Come into your Shavasana. All right, so Shavasana can look like it did in the beginning when we were doing our centering. It can look different. Your body feels different now. The knees can be bent or straight or supported. The eyes closed. Pay attention again to the nasal cycle. Which nose, which nostril is more dominant at this time? Give yourself the chance to just kind of let the practice settle. The movements, the stretches, the strengthening. Let all of that settle in as you rest. You may be observing how your breath changes as you relax. And then if you're in a good place and you want to keep resting, stay there and rest. Let that work, that energy work that you just did, all those movements spread. If you're coming back, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Mm, moving in any way that feels good and comfortable. And eventually coming up to sit whenever you're ready to do so. Wonderful. I love you guys. You're amazing. You're enough. You're loved. You're loving. Peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful intentions. Namaste. Much love. Have a wonderful day. Quick reminder, no class next week. So if you're in class tomorrow, I will remind you that as well about next week. But until next time, enjoy the beautiful spring day.